I mean, it's sort of really hard to put it into words. We're all fairly quiet, gentle people in our day-to-day lives, and doing something like Sleepmakeswaves is a way to sort of take a lot of emotions that don't fit into that particular mold and channel them out. It's not often that you get an opportunity to be artistically really physical or to convey aggression and anger or frustration in a way that can also be really beautiful and really euphoric as well, and in a way that's humanized and the audience can connect with it. As music fans, you know, we grew up listening to metal and punk and all of this kind of stuff, and if you're not good live and you don't go hard, get the fuck out in those genres of music. And again, it's sort of not only about expressing ourselves, but also sort of an act of tribute to all those awesome shows we've been to where we've seen our favourite band go out and leave buckets of sweat on the stage and completely destroy their bodies.
There's something about like going to watch a band, and especially a post-rock band or a band without vocals, is where you are totally focused on the guitarist or the bass player or the drummer or the keyboardist, whatever. You want to see them doing that pedal dance, you want to see them jumping around, you want to see them fucking stuff up when they're playing. That's part of the live show. Like, that's why people like live shows. They want to see that you're human, that you're real, that you're just like them, that there's sound and air pushing out of these speakers that are like a few meters away from their heads.
It's always a two-way street in a way. It's like the band has a total obligation to sort of give everything they can to an audience who have come to give them their time. And the audience is never obliged to love the band, I don't think, but if they're feeling something, they should show it. And I think that's always, always appreciated.
But having said that, like, the silence is also something that's really cool as well.
Yeah,
it's another
true.
thing you notice, like, especially with our type of music, it's got really intense loud bits, and then it might be really delicate the next second. And in those delicate moments, you know you're playing a good show and you know you've got the audience if it is absolutely silent and there's no one talking to each other. Even the bar staff are not serving their drinks, they're just all looking at you. It's whisper quiet, and that is the cool, that is a really cool moment when that happens in a live show. You're like, okay, we're doing something right here. I don't think any post-rock band wants to be sort of just lumped into that one term. It's such a big ranging term. It covers so many sort of styles now, and it's kind of a label that gets given to people, especially when they're instrumental and they're playing rock music. It's like, oh, it's post-rock automatically.
Every band wants to be their own little special snowflake and everything like that, and imagine that they're sort of super awesome and original and all that kind of stuff. But everyone takes influences from somewhere, and I suppose that if this term post-rock is how people are invited to check out this kind of sound that we do, then that's fine by us. And to most people, the phrase post-rock is pretty meaningless. They have no idea about, you know, any of that stuff or any of the heritage. So normally what I would say is we do really long instrumental music, and it's kind of cinematic and it sounds a little bit like a movie soundtrack at times. Sometimes really, really soft, and sometimes it's really, really loud. And it's got electronic stuff and like a full band in there. And I think those kind of descriptions are pretty valuable to people. And maybe that's why people kick against the post-rock a bit, because it doesn't seem to describe much about what the bands actually do. It sort of just pigeonholes them as being a little bit obscure and maybe difficult to get into, which isn't really the case at all. And it's probably not a fair generalization for a lot of those bands. No one in the post-rock scene is trying particularly hard to be cool. It's not the kind of music where it really fits in conventionally what, you know, mainstream radio or like the internet thinks is sort of really hot at the time. But I think that means that you can have a really special connection with it, because at least when I sort of watch instrumental band or like a post-rock band, however you want to say it, I always feel they're people just like me that are performing the music. Yet the music they're creating is kind of grand, almost transcendent thing that gestures at all these sort of awesome, epic feelings and emotions and ideas that seem so extraordinary. And I think that's partly why people get so excited about it, because it's this really beautiful conglomeration of humility and awesomeness. And I think if you're sort of on the wavelength of that, it's pretty much the best thing ever.
That mindset still stays in the band today. We still think we're a little band playing in our bedrooms, and I kind of like that, because when something happens or an opportunity gets given to you, we're always blown away. We're always like, wow, this is great, let's do it. You got to try and stay humble, and you'll have a better time if you're kind of not expecting too much, so that when the good things do happen, it feels really great.